choose your way to view, but make sure you tune in regardless. But just a couple of weeks ago, Anthony Smith lost one of the most important people in his entire life, his longtime jiu-jitsu coach and his best friend, Scott Morton. Through his heartache, he spoke with our own Brett Okamoto earlier this week about his decision to remain on this card.
He built a foundation on which I've been standing my whole entire career. I started training with Scotty when I was 17 or 18, maybe 18. And our connection was tight right away. So I've never lived as an adult without him. So I don't know what the future looks like. I don't know how long I stay here without him. It just doesn't matter anymore. It was always a wish of his that the career was winding down. He didn't want me to do this much longer anyways. So I don't know what the future looks like after Saturday night, but yeah, I've never really competed without him. I've never prepared for a fight without him. There's been one time I can remember not having him there. It was because he had COVID really bad. And that week sucked, and I knew he was gonna be there when I got home, I was just like a big brother, it was like a mentor. It's not just fighting either, it was just life and parenting and being a husband and just being a better man. So yeah, I'm a bit lost. Dominick Reyes is in such a terrible position right now. Because there's always a healthy bit of fear, I think, for people when they go into fights. And I don't have that at all. There's nothing Dominick can do to me is gonna put me in a worse place than I am right now anyways. So I just don't know. That's why I never even consider my fighting. I have to let it out somewhere.
I did not know that's how he was looking at this. Guys, that was very compelling and hard to watch until we got to the very end there. I did not know that mindset of Lionheart. Dom, is he telling the truth? Do you imagine? Is that really how he feels? That could be quite helpful for an athletic contest.
I think Anthony Smith is in the middle of a martial arts journey. This is what martial arts is about, is taking life, distilling it, and figuring out a way to utilize it in the octagon. It really is that simple. And one of my favorite quotes is, until the lion learns to write, the story belongs to the hunter. So he's in the middle of that. He's right in the middle of okay, I'm learning to write right now. He's learning how to get through these times. This is a dark time. We've seen people lose their family and have to go in there. This is our time as a martial artist to learn how to write so that the story doesn't belong to the other people. And this is what he's going to grow from this. And no matter what, God bless him. I'm sorry he's going through that, but this is what it's about. And this is why we're all watching him, to see how you work through adversity on a martial arts stage. Transformation is a public event. He's going through it right now.
Yeah, Jake Shields, if I can just remind you guys, but he was very clearly the next best welterweight in the world to George St. Pierre. He lost his father, let's call it a Tuesday. Saturday, he was in the ring with Jake Ellenberger. It was a massive upset and didn't even get out of the first round. Meanwhile, Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson and credited the loss of his mother as powering him. And I'm only sharing with you guys, I don't know if I'm tough enough to do this. I would rather fight with a broken hand than fight with a broken heart. This is so heavy to go into it. The pressure and what you're feeling in the back and the emotion. If Anthony truly does feel the way that he is representing, it could be a very great story tomorrow night. But to act as though he is not walking on there with a major cross on his back, he is. This is hard. This is a hard one.
He's going through it.
And by the way, imagine being Dominick, where you're going to use that to your advantage. Hey, this guy's got a broken heart. Let's go out there and beat him up. Dominick is in a hard spot. Anthony's not wrong.
But on the other end of that, Dominick's going through the same thing in his own career. He didn't lose somebody, but he's trying to find himself. When you lose and you're going through this streak that he's going through right now after facing one of the best of all time and almost beating him, and then now you're going through this. He's got his own story that he's working through, and everybody gets to watch this, and that's why this fight's happening too, because these guys are competitors and nothing's going to stop them to show up their best.
And Anthony made the choice to continue to compete. Wow, if I can get my words out. He made the choice to continue to stay on this card and compete. Chael, so that means, he's still looking for a hand raise at the end of the day, because they're in, like Dom just said, they're in positions where a win is pretty vital to each man. I mean, when you look at their careers and you look at where they are, what they've accomplished, and what maybe is still on the trajectory in front of them, What are your thoughts on how vital a hand raise is?
Well, yes, I think that Anthony is likely to be shown grace regardless of the outcome, but his likelihood to return to a main card it's just simply not going to happen. When Dominic's talking about a potential death that Reyes is facing, a death of a career, guy, I've been there, my career in it. It's a very tough thing, and that is very real, and Dominic Reyes is quite literally fighting for that. Dominic had this great night. He's the only guy I've seen beat John Jones. I sincerely believe that he won that contest, but he never quite returned to that. Sometimes you start to believe, you start to think, wow, I'm better than I thought I was. Sometimes you get a confidence from something, that confidence works against you. I feel that Reyes needs to be real smart in this fight because Anthony is going to come out swinging. That part he's not lying about.
Yeah, I know we're talking about Anthony Smith and his loss, but like you just worded very eloquently, Dominic Reyes is going through a similar thing, whether you want to admit it or not. When you're looking at your career in the eye like that and you're saying, okay, this is it, there's a big thing. And I think at the end of this fight, it's bigger than did I get the win, did I get the loss? It's how am I going to look at myself at the end of this fight? How am I going to accept myself? Am I going to give myself credit, or am I going to just beat the heck out of myself for whatever I did in that fight?